Hello.
Hi.
Coming to you through the electrical impulses of the internet, it's F That Noise. Featuring Mike Burdick, Keith Reeve, Jamie Klein, Pete Melia, and Steve Taylor. It's episode 8 of F That Noise. I am Keith Grieve driving this ship of fools, but I'm joined by the illustrious Jamie Klein, Mike Burdick,
Hi.
Steve Taylor,
Brian Taylor's naked right now.
and Pete Melia.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for that, Steve. Does your brother listen?
No.
I didn't think
And if
so.
he does, he understands.
Is he in fact naked right now?
Probably.
Probably.
Okay.
So what is
I
that
like
joke?
that we're not even 10 seconds in. We already got inside jokes.
Yeah, right. I don't have the inside
I
joke
think
alarm
I
queued
think
up.
we were talking for like 25 minutes. We hardly had any inside jokes, and now
Not
we're
at all.
It's all over now. It's all
Miss McGill.
over now. You had your chance, but you blew it. All right. All right. So, we've known each other for a long time. Some of us have known each other since if on average we're 43 years. What's the oldest friendship on this podcast? 37?
Probably Pete and I. I've known Pete since we were 5 years old.
All right. So like 38 years old. 38 years.
using my oxygen.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, let's keep doing this inside joke.
So, yeah. No. So we did the episode about the prank calls, and usually we delve into inside stories and stuff like that, but funny shit from our past. So I saw this news article, and I'll just summarize it briefly, and then I want to know, there's got to be stories in this group like this that would make everybody laugh. But this is from Vice News. Rex Santis, Vermont man takes revenge on town board with a 700-pound statue of a middle finger. A Vermont man was so incensed by his town zoning regulations that he erected a 700-pound statue giving officials the middle finger and lit it with floodlights so they would always be reminded of his feelings toward them. Ted Pelkey's decade-long feud with local officials reached spiteful new heights November 30th when he installed the statue on a high pole in his front yard near Route 128 after his request to relocate his monofilament cleaning and truck repair business from a nearby town to his own property was denied. Pelkey said officials won't let him build the garage simply because they don't like him, and he thought a middle finger was just the right response. So first of all, I wholeheartedly support this man's reaction. Secondly, what's the most petty ass thing you've ever done just to piss somebody off? Don't all talk at once. I'll tell a story. Maybe it's not the most petty thing I could have ever done, but in my 20s, again mid-90s, a girl I was dating got me a Tommy Hilfiger T-shirt, white T-shirt, red, white, and blue Tommy Hilfiger logo, and we're at her cousin's house, and we're playing basketball in the driveway, and my hands are black just from dribbling this basketball in the driveway, okay? And I'm a sweaty-ass mess. You guys know how I get when I could do anything athletic. I'm just fucking soaking wet from the get-go. And something happened, and she pissed me off. And earlier in the night, she had made a comment that was her favorite shirt of mine. And I took both my black hands and just slapped my chest and just wiped them off. And just totally destroyed that shirt. Just because I had fucking enough.
I'm trying to think.
That's pretty good. That's the one to beat.
That's pretty fucking petty. I'm not going to lie. Because I don't even remember what the argument was about, so it couldn't have been anything serious.
All right, I think I got one. And this is not one I'm proud of. But
I feel like I'm in group.
Yeah.
My name's Steve. I'm alcoholic.
I know, right? I'm Jamie Klein. I frig, and I'm 87.
Inside joke!
I remember this is a senior year in high school, dating this one girl. Gonna go nameless on that one. And we got into some stupid argument. I don't know why. I forgot the reason. She drove to school, and so I went and grabbed a bottle of peanut butter and took a handful of it and wiped it underneath all her car doors.
Christ.
Oh, my
So
God.
she went to the car door and grabbed her the handle. She got a handful of peanut butter. It was such a dick thing to do. And I remember the argument, something very petty. But yeah, it's. I was an asshole in high school. I don't know what to tell you.
At least
I was a little wild.
At least you can acknowledge it, and we've moved on.
Yeah.
Have we?
She's not listening to this podcast, I hope.
I'm an optimist. It'd be funny if she does listen and be like, "That was Jamie."
That's where we need a call.
Oh, she called me that day.
Oh, okay, so she knew it was
started
you.
going off, and I just like, huh? What are you talking about? 80s guys, you don't admit it. You're just like, I don't know.
Yeah, how we got through high school without a panty raid, I'll never know.
Yeah, right? There's no
Revenge
attribution in the 80s, though. You could just do things. You throw something over your shoulder and you forget about it. It was the 80s.
Right.
Yeah.
Mike goes over the shoulder all the time.
Yeah.
Inside joke. So
All right.
we're gonna start making a penalty. Anytime somebody mentions an inside joke, you've got to explain it.
Wrong. I don't know, Mike. Do you want me to explain that one?
No, that's fine. Let's see. My petty thing. It's not as interesting as these. I wrote my first play off of something very petty. There was somebody who was in college that I knew that was, really a dick, and he was really a bad guy.
I never even saw you in college.
Huh?
I never even saw you in college.
This is not Keith.
Oh, okay.
For the people listening at home. So I sat down. I was in the midst of writing my first play, and I made him a character, and I killed him off.
Oh, nice.
And in my first play, and then a bunch of us actually put the show up for an experimental theater night at the school. So he was in the audience, so you got to see it. So that was my first play ever. And it was this is gonna be inside, but the play was called The Bradstreet Boys.
Oh, that's right. The Bradstreet Boys.
Yeah, which I named after our friend Marty. For no reason other than I needed a name, and it's the first thing that popped in my head.
Did it have anything to do with boy bands? Because it sounds an awful lot like
it doesn't,
Backstreet
and
Boys.
I actually took a couple scenes from the first couple plays I wrote, and I included them in another play in this book that I got published. And my friend in college wrote the foreword for it and actually mentioned, he says, why he picked that name at the height of the Backstreet Boys, I'll never know. And I'm not sure I know either. But
oh my God,
that's awesome.
All right, Stephen Peak, pony up.
I can't really, and I'm not saying I'm an angel, but I can't really think of one thing that really stands out that I've done.
You're saying you're an angel is what it is.
But I could say something about another person on this panel that I appreciated.
Who?
You.
What? Let's let some dead air go through, so maybe we can edit it out.
When you and I were living together on Rutgers Street, or not Rutgers Street, this was on Edgerton still in Park Ave. Keith broke up with this girl who kept trying to get a hold of him, and he left as his answering message on his voicemail for her not to call him. So anyone that called his phone heard, listen, I don't want to date you anymore. I don't want to see you. Just don't call me. And that was his answering message on his phone.
That is awesome.
It was the greatest thing. I had so much respect.
The other part of that story was it was 2002, so it was the days of if you wanted a custom ringtone for your cell phone, you had to punch out you had to find it on the internet. You had to punch out the little keys to make it. So I had found the Simpsons theme. And that was my ringtone. And I swear to God, this girl called me 73 times in a row while I was at work.
Absolutely.
So, I worked
most of those were me.
Yeah, well, with her name, that's impressive. Yeah, so we'd be in the apartment and we'd just hear.
Oh, it was amazing.
Steve got pissed at one point. He's like, answer that goddamn phone just so it doesn't fucking ring anymore.
Because most of the time you were passed out surrounded by empty bottles of Labatt Blue. So for me, I just listened to it over and over and over again. I'm like, God damn it.
Oh, yeah. I had to drown out the sound of that ringtone.
Was this before the times when you could turn your cell phone off?
I just left the ringer on because what if it was somebody I wanted to talk to?
Oh.
I always had the utmost respect for that, and I appreciated that, and I thought that was amazing.
Oh boy.
Wow.
No.
They just have a lifetime of petty shit to choose from here. It's hard to pick one.
Pete, I don't
Tom
want
Petty
to.
doesn't count either.
I don't want to put words into your mouth, but you were a part of the Great Rebellion.
Oh, God. Oh, man. I don't know if I want to open that can of worms. But, like, right off the top, like, I was just thinking about just being in the dorms, and there was this ridiculously smoking hot girl on, like, one of the floors, right? And she was dating, like, one of the Buffalo Bills or some shit. Eric Moulds, actually. He used to show up all the time in his big SUV and whatever.
Well then.
I don't know what it was. I was just pissed. I was 87 or something. So I grabbed a mop bucket out of the supply closet at the end of the hallway and filled it with everything I could find. Chef Boyardee, Simple Green, grass, everything. Filled this thing to the top, dragged it down the stairs, and chucked it at their door. I don't know why. I must have been real drunk or something. I don't know, but what a mess. Holy crap.
Oh, that's
But
impressive.
on the upside, there was a mop bucket down there. It was empty. It had a mop in it.
So it had a happy ending.
So in a way, you did them a
It wasn't
favor.
all that bad. It could have been worse.
It could have been a lot worse.
Clean it the fuck up.
Inside joke. Oh God. Oh, those are some good. Those are some good stories.
Yeah.
Good life. The good life.
Yeah. All right, and now we have the drive of the week. Jamie Klein, what do you have in store for us today?
All right. I got a little bit of an obscure one. This is one I loved this movie as a kid. I haven't seen it in a while, so I don't know if it sucks anymore. But the movie Toy Soldiers with the Will Wheaton and Sean Astin and the guy from Wishmaster, Andrew Divoff or whatever the hell his name is. This is a scene where terrorists take over I believe it's a private high school and or private college or prep school or something like that. Anyway, terrorists taking over a school, which is probably something you shouldn't put out now. But this is a scene where terrorists is telling everyone what not to do.
If any of the individual explosives are tampered with, they will explode! Explosives will go off automatically. If any of the individual explosives are tampered with, they will explode! They will explode! They will explode! They will explode! They will explode!
What is that after? Is that like a chair moving?
Yeah, I think it's a chair. Like people are going, and the chair is being squeaked.
They will
I
explode!
never noticed that before.
They're shocking. I mean, the guy drives it.
Don't touch the wires.
Fair enough. All right.
Don't touch the
Why?
safety
Why?
tip.
But why shouldn't he? Why shouldn't he touch the wires?
With.
Oh, good question.
They will explode!
Oh,
That was a dramatic setup
Yeah,
right
a
there.
little dramatic pause. All right, so the other thing we wanted to talk about today is,
Sodomy.
well, besides that, but you can only talk so much because it only goes in so far. But
For you, maybe.
I can't believe I went there. Anyway, sorry. I tried to be the classy one on the show, and I failed
What
there.
happened?
I
Yeah,
failed.
nice going.
I failed. Guitar
Classy sodomy.
solos in the wake of the
You put it in her butt. She will explode.
in the wake of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame announcements. We got on the topic of music in our private text message group, and the subject was brought up about guitar solos, memorable guitar solos, favorite guitar solos. I'll turn it over to Jamie.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got real quick. I just want to say the Rock and Roll Hall of Shame can suck my fucking German Irish cock.
Well then,
I don't know. When I think rock and roll, do you guys think of Notorious Pig or Whitney Houston or any of them? I don't. That's not rock and roll. Rock and roll is Motorhead. Rock and roll is Judas Priest. Rock and roll is Thin Lizzy. None of those bands got put in there. Iron Maiden's still not even fucking in there. So You got me on this one. I believe they should change the name to the Music Hall of Fame, and then you can have the other artists go in there, which they rightfully deserve.
It's pretty much what it is. I think they use
Yeah.
the term rock and roll very loosely.
Right. That's fucking loose, all right.
So anyway, guitar solos. Who wants to expound on this subject first?
I will take that.
Okay.
Nice.
I give this a lot of thought. I break this down as the two solos because I have one that is like an album solo that every time I hear it, I think is the greatest thing ever done. And then there's one that I saw live that only happened once that is also like up there. My all-time is David Gilmour, Comfortably Numb, Pink Floyd.
Nice.
It could be either the first or the second solo. They're just, every time I hear that, I love it. That's one of my favorite songs ever. So that solo, it stands out to me, especially the second one. It's just unbelievably epic. But then the one that I saw now, I mean, it was a few years ago. It was, there was I want to say it was a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. George Harrison was getting inducted. And a bunch of artists, Tom Petty, actually George Harrison's son, did My Guitar Gently Weeps. And Prince came out.
Oh yeah, that was amazing.
And I've never seen anything like that in my life. Like that solo was ridiculous. And to this day, that's one of the greatest guitar solos I have ever seen, like just live, completely riffing that I've ever seen in my entire life. It was amazing.
It's an underrated guitarist is Prince, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
good.
it's
Fantastic.
So good.
But those are my two right there.
Oh, those are two good ones. Now, this is when George Harrison had already passed away when they did this.
Oh yeah, this was only like 3 or 4 years ago. It was only like a year or two before Tom Petty died. And Harrison's been gone for quite a while.
Okay. Yeah, Petty and Prince passed away. God, I think it must have been right after each other.
I think they were only a year apart. Which balls. Who's next?
I don't know.
One of my
Dead
all-time
air.
favorites.
Dead air.
I would say one of my all-time favorites is Eruption. That
Oh yeah.
Eddie Van Halen is just God, that guy is awesome. So
so
every
many
time I hear
people were just
Eruption,
blown away when they saw
Right?
that the first time. So many people. Yeah.
and then it kicks into You Got Me Going. It's such an awesome song. So that's probably my all-time favorite guitar riff or solo is Eruption by Van Halen off the first album too. Probably their best one.
I do remember when I saw them live and I watched him actually do that. It was unbelievable sight to see.
Yeah, I saw them live when what was it, the Different Kind of Truth came out, the one where they reunited briefly.
Mm-hmm.
Which is an okay album. I don't hate it like a lot of people. It's fine. It's all right. But yeah, watching them live and just seeing David Lee Roth, I was just like, I can't believe I'm seeing this live. This is like probably the greatest guitarist around at the. I mean, you still got Steve Vai, and I'm not gonna take anything from Steve Vai. Steve Vai fucking rules. But David Lee Roth is probably one of my personal favorites. He's right up there.
Nice.
They will explode!
All right, so Pete, you're a guitarist.
Yeah, studio wise, like I got to do it. I got to go with Comfortably Numb, second solo. That made me want to pick the instrument up. Basically, I never get tired of listening to that. Like it's just, and every time I hear it, I hear something different. And every time he plays it, it's a little different too. It's never quite the same. But the studio one, he's got these weird like pitch harmonics that like he never does it. He's never done it again in his career. It was only in the studio that came out. Like, it must have been the monitors or the way they mixed it, or I don't know what it was. But I've attempted it for a long time. I can't do it. I just can't get that pitch. It's so weird. I just don't think that could ever be duplicated again. Live, I gotta say, is kind of bass as the song was. I think it's Domination from Pantera.
Nice.
I was standing up on front of the stage. I never did that when I went to concerts. I made my way all the way up to the front, and I spent the whole concert standing in front of Dimes Randalls, the great big stacks everywhere. And he was right in front of me. I mean, I could have lobbed a softball and hit him, And he stood up in front of the stage and played that solo with all the arpeggios and the real fast stuff. And, the whole time he's completely flipping his head and his hair's flying everywhere. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. Just unbelievably loud and just, pitch perfect. He didn't miss a note. It's just nuts. I've never seen anybody go that bananas when they're playing either. I don't know how he did it.
Pete, what was the name of the song again?
Is Domination. Yeah. And
I thought it was called Motherfucking Domination.
And the crowd was moving up and, the crowd was moving with every note. You could see people kind of move it up and down. It was just an experience. That's probably it.
That's awesome. Man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Murdoch!
Mike, you got anything? I got a feeling I know what's going to make at least part of your list, but I'm not going to say it until you say it.
Oh, well, that's the thing is I'm not as much of a musical expert as a lot of people here. I just like what I listen to, and Eruption was definitely on my list because I love that song. I love that entire thing, and also anything live version, anything Eric Clapton, because I got to jump over the wall at Central Park and listen to his free concert.
Nice.
Sounds like you're escaping something.
What's that?
Sounds like you're escaping something. I got to jump over the wall, and there was an Eric Clapton concert.
No, it was a packed concert, and it's the first illegal thing I ever did in New York, and hopefully not too many more after that. But I jumped over the wall and went to see because I couldn't miss that, and he just did his. I don't know if Layla counts as a guitar solo even because of the piano in there, but it was just so good. And but I think that the my favorite of everybody that I like is probably the guitar solo version of Stairway to Heaven.
Nice.
Oh yeah. God, amazing.
There's I'm not, it's not the studio version or not the regular one. It's a special one that I came across where he does the entire song. And he does the entire song with the guitar, and it just blew me away listening, and
that's insane.
Yeah, it's so good. But that's probably what comes. But the first thought Jamie stole, it was Eruption. I love that solo.
It's okay. It's King.
Yeah.
Keith?
Well, anything by Wang Chung. No, I'm just kidding. I think when I think about just quality and what do I consider the best and not so much favorite, it would be Stairway just because of the length. I mean, that's a mother of a fucking solo.
It's always length with Yuki.
That's right. Size matters, bitches. But looking at GuitarWorld.com ranked the top 50, and I won't go through the 50. I'll just go through the top 10. They have number 10, Crossroads by Eric Clapton. Number 9, Crazy Train, Randy Rhoads.
Oh, let me guess. They gave it to Hendrix again.
What's that?
They probably gave it to Hendrix again, right?
Well, 8 was.
Those guys can't stop putting him at number 1.
Are you anti-Hendrix?
No, I'm not. It's just wish they'd switch it up once in a while. It's just too predictable. Go on,
right.
Sorry.
That's all right. No, number 8 I had forgotten about, but Hotel California has a pretty good solo in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does.
As long as you pick the right version.
True.
Right.
That acoustic version's god awful.
Number 7, Kirk Hammett's solo in 1 by Metallica.
That's King. That's
great.
This was the one, Mike. I thought for sure it was going to come out of your mouth. November Rain. Slash.
Yeah, I'm shocked that Mike didn't say that one too.
Hey, fuck that.
No, I love that song and I love that solo, but I wouldn't consider that a standout guitar solo for me.
No,
good job, Mike.
I know Steve hates the song as a whole, but that's a great solo.
Before the show, I took a shit, and I think that solo was better than November Rain. So.
God.
But in all fairness, we don't know what the quality of that shit was. So that could have been some high quality.
This is true.
It was Chinese democracy.
When it splashed down, I had some cold November Rain on my butt.
Well, there you go.
We already had that episode.
Not in my toilet. It's November. Always.
Oh, Pete, make you feel better. Number 5, Jimi Hendrix, All Along the Watchtower.
Okay, all right.
Number 4, David Gilmour, Comfortably Numb.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there you go, guys.
4.
Number 3, Freebird. Number 3.
Oh, okay.
Number 2, Eruption, Eddie Van Halen.
Oh, yes.
And number 1, Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah, that works. Wow.
It's pretty
But
solid
I
list.
also. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go.
I also I think very underrated is Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yeah.
I love his stuff. Pretty much anything from him.
He was awesome.
Such a huge fan. Yeah.
Pride and Joy was number 27.
Yeah, Pride and Joy I love.
But that was the only one. Smells Like Teen Spirit, Kurt Cobain was 26. Really?
Is that it? Yeah, for a guitar solo.
I'm trying to think about the solo in that.
Yeah, I don't remember the solo in that.
It was pretty simple, sounded like the rhythm kind of.
Yeah.
Wow, 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 wow. All that.
All that. Do it again. Do it again. Bohemian Rhapsody was number 20.
Oh,
Who was?
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
Okay. Keith, was there anything from one of Pete's favorite bands, The Doors?
Oh, you're just fighting words.
It's funny. I'm a huge fan now.
What? Are you serious?
Come full circle on a lot of that stuff. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's hilarious.
Light My Fire.
Yeah.
Light My Fire was number 45 out of 50.
Oh, that solo's king, actually. That's awesome.
That's more guitar than keyboard though?
Too. Yeah, good
Plus,
point,
the
Mike.
thing is that the Doors, from a musicianship, was pretty poor all around.
Right, it's very basic. It's like the same 3 chords, right? It's like,
Yeah, but I mean, you can't take anything away from Morrison. The guy was
Right.
yeah.
not from this world.
Do you like Straws too?
Oh, boy.
No, I'm not a fan of Straws, actually.
Them's fighting words. Okay, so now this kind of surprises me, but While My Guitar Gently Weeps, the solo by Eric Clapton, it was a Beatles record, but the solo was by Eric Clapton, number 42 out of 50. I know we said the live version was amazing, but even the record version of that is pretty impressive.
Right.
Man.
Keith, is there anything from Iron Maiden on any of those, or
Let's
no?
see here. 0 results.
Fuck that shit.
No, Jamie likes his Maiden.
I do love my Maiden.
Anything from Weird Al? Or?
No, didn't make the cut.
That's a bummer.
They will explode!
Oh, explode.
Oh, boy. All right. So we're at the 30-minute mark. Anybody else got anything roundtable they want to bring up?
Well, bands that you wish you could have seen.
Oh.
Oh man, yeah.
That's a tough one.
You know what?
So
Go ahead. You go. Go ahead.
I was going
I
to
got
say,
an odd one. Yeah.
what do you got, Pete?
I wish I got to see the Grateful Dead. Believe it or not.
Really?
That's an experience.
I'm telling you, like
The Contact.
the shows were bananas though. Like it was like there was like a strange setup. It was almost like a weird mandala the way it was set up, but like the social structure looked really complex and crazy. I would love to just kind of experience the whole thing. It looked kind of amazing. Plus, yeah,
It's
I don't
sort
know
of
that like is a show like that would have been something. Like
it's
something
sort of
to
like
see.
sort of like the equivalent of Fish now, right? Like you have people following the group around. They're able to sustain a lot of different type of people.
It's that kind of thing. It's like the kind of Kerouac kind of thing, like sort of an on the road kind of thing. I don't know. It looks really interesting. Like, as far as concerts go, it's hard to get anything more eccentric than that.
Yeah.
For me, and I know they still tour, so I still have an opportunity. But Def Leppard, I've always loved them.
Oh,
I've never
shit.
seen them.
Oh, they're awesome live. I've seen them about 3 or 4 times now. They're fantastic.
I would love to see them.
They are really good, shockingly good. So, high recommendation of that. I was actually going to piggyback off what Pete said earlier on. I never had the honor of seeing Pantera live, and that's like one of my all-time favorite bands. And they'll never happen. I mean,
I saw them into
half
the
the band's dead.
teens. That's how many times I saw
I know. I remember when didn't you see it at the War Memorial, or is it in Buffalo or something?
them. Yeah, I've probably seen them 10 or 11 times probably.
Fuck. See, I would have died to have seen those guys. So that's, if I can go back in time, that would probably be my number one. I would have loved to have seen Pantera.
Hell of
They
a
will
show.
explode!
Yeah.
They will too.
The one band that, and I know this technically isn't rock and roll, so you guys might get pissed, but the one band that I really wish I would have seen, because everyone that I've talked to, no matter what age, no matter what their favorite style of music is, says that their shows were unbelievable, was the Beastie Boys.
Yeah, there were some epic shows at the War Memorial I remember hearing about.
My dad
I
took
would,
my sister.
I would love to have seen one of those. That would be great.
My dad took my sister to one.
Oh man, that would have been
That
amazing.
would have been amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing.
It's amazing.
It's beautiful.
Pete, what was your band? You said you had one that was kind of out of...
you missed the whole thing.
He said Grateful Dead.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, you did. Sorry.
Well,
my
you
bad.
know,
This'll
they used to go around with this thing called the Wall of Sound, and it was like 45 feet high. It's just nothing but speakers, and like
Holy shit.
the bass player's stack was 38 feet, and it put out a sound wave, a sine wave that basically could travel 2 miles. Like, so like it was just nuts. Like deaf people would go to the shows and just bring balloons and hold them,
No shit.
and they could feel like everything. Like it was just. So I don't know. To me, that would have been like a nuts experience. I would have loved that.
Mike, what about you? I think I know Mike's, but let me hear Mike say it.
Everybody keeps saying that shit, and then I disappoint them because I don't say what you want me to say.
It's part of your charm.
Huh?
It's part of your charm.
No, Tiffany. Tiffany is definitely.
The mall tour. I wish I could have been there.
I was gonna say Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah, but again, I still have the opportunity, but I haven't. Yeah, I've actually heard that he is an incredible show to watch.
Oh, I can imagine.
He does like 36 different characters in his show. And then, but yeah, I didn't even think of him, but I definitely would like to see him at some point. I did not. I would like to see. Obviously, I'd like to see Led Zeppelin. I would have liked that opportunity. But Stevie Ray Vaughan, I mentioned before, is one that I would have really liked to see.
Good one.
The Beatles.
Yeah, I was gonna say them too, but yeah, I don't know. Like any of those, I don't really have a desire to see. Like it's really weird. Like they're one of my favorite metal bands, and I have no interest in seeing Guns N' Roses in a show.
Yeah,
I just heard too many horror stories about like them putting on a bad show, and I wouldn't really want to see them. But those other ones for sure.
I saw Guns N' Roses live, but it was when Axl was doing the Chinese Democracy tour. So it was Axl and all the other guys.
So you saw them after they were dead.
Right, yes. But they did have the guitarist Bumblebee, and that guy's really awesome. So I was happy to see them because I thought Bumblebee was cool. But yeah, Mike, that show didn't start until like 11 o'clock at night. Show got out at like 3 in the morning. It was
Jesus
insane.
Christ,
Man.
Insane. Like
supposed to go
long
on?
gaps.
Wow.
It was like tons of solos, and it was a bizarre show. I liked it, but it was strange. Like half the audience was gone way before the show ended.
Sounds like a weird kind of Axl move, you know?
Oh, it was total Axl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your
The
first
concert was supposed to start at 9, didn't start till 11 o'clock.
Oh yeah.
What was your
Yep.
first concert?
I saw the Dead Milkmen in Rochester, New York.
Holy crap!
Yeah, first
I
concert.
saw Aerosmith in Rochester, New York.
Nice.
Oh, nice! I did see Aerosmith in Rochester when Get a Grip
Yeah.
came out.
No, my first was Pink Floyd in Syracuse.
I remember you
Nice.
saw that, Steve.
The
Oh,
Division
so
Bell.
cool.
It was our senior year.
Nice.
I think the first concert I went and saw was at the War Memorial was the Monkees.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
That's awesome.
classic. I didn't like my parents never let me go to concerts like when I was younger. I remember the first time I was pissed off and disappointed was U2 was at Silver Stadium when I was a kid, like 4th grade, and freaking there was no way they were gonna let me go there.
I was pissed off and disappointed long before that.
But first concert I went to was Green Day at the War Memorial in '95.
Okay, cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, in the Insomniac tour. It was a good show.
Yeah, my parents didn't want us to go to concerts either. I remember getting me and Ed Willie and James Orr going and getting Ed Willie's mom to drive us to the War Memorial to see Metallica.
Oh, nice.
And that was like an epic show. I've never seen a concert that had encores before. Because the Dead Milkmen, they just played they could do the whole album and it'll be done within 15 minutes. Every song is 2 seconds long there. But Metallica blew me away. When I first saw them, it would still be up there as my top 5 favorite concerts I ever saw, just because they were so good, and they had the snake pit. So the whole stage moves around and everything when the Black Album had come out. Oh, so great. So.
Yeah.
No.
No. All right.
Fucking.
Yes, all of that. All right, well, that will do it for episode 8 of
I'm gonna come.
That Noise. For Jamie Klein, Mike Burdick, Pete Mealia, and Steve Taylor, I'm Keith Grieve. Hit us up on the socials, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We'll see y'all next week.
That's pretty much it.
They will explode!